All right, boys. Now, to make sure that you guys are completely set up for when you get in the gym and you're confident when you get in there, I decided to add this part of the program to go through some tutorials of the different foundational movement patterns. So when you get hit with one of them during the day, you've got a little bit of an understanding on what I'm asking for and how functional anatomy works. All right. So that's what we're going to cover, and we're also going to cover setting yourself up for success. So first of all, we're going to set you up for success, all right? So the night before you're going to train, I want you to go and have a look on your app, have a look at the warm-ups, see what they are, run yourself through it, pause it, practice them, and then I want you to have a look at the session that you have on that day, and I want you to go through it, have a look, and then practice some of them moves at home. It'll make a huge difference when it comes time to getting in the gym. You'll feel confident and you'll feel like you know what you're doing instead of kind of just going in there and feeling shocked. All right, so bear with me one sec. I'm just going to jump over the next screen and we're going to go through all the foundational movement patterns with video tutorials to pick it apart and give you guys the most confidence I can. All right, so give me one sec. All right, now we got the squat. So we might not be completely familiar with what the objective of the squat pattern is. So we want to have flexion of the knees and our feet want to be at a place that's comfortable for us. It could be wider for some, it could be closer for some. And as we come up from that movement, we squeeze our glutes. This is what's going to keep our hips in line. So that's our squat movement. When it comes to the hip hinge, people get this confused with the squat movement, but look at the difference. My hips go back, my torso goes forward, and all of the tension is on my hamstrings, not my quads. All right, so when I come down too, you'll notice, have a look at my knees at the front here. See how my knees don't come over my toes? With the squat, your knees come over your toes. So we're using our posterior chain to drive this movement, which is lacking in a lot of men. So make sure to practice this movement at home and get it right. And now I put the barbell hip thrust in. This is also a hip hinge movement, but I know people get this wrong. You want to be set up at 90 degrees. See how I'm 90 degrees from the ground and my upper back is placed on the bench. Now, when I drive down with the weight, I want to squeeze my core, and then when I come up, squeeze my glutes. Hold for 1 second. So squeeze my core and then squeeze my glutes. And now with the lunge, it's similar to a squat pattern, but have a look. So I've still got flexion over the knee, but I've got stable hips, so my hips aren't wobbling. And I use my big toe, my middle toe, and my heel to push all that power and that force. So the heel, big toe, and middle toe push that force. My knee drops against the ground. My hips are stable, and I squeeze glutes at the top. With the bench, see how I've done this here? See how I've rotated and rolled my shoulders back? That's what I want you to do for every pressing movement. So you squeeze and roll the shoulder blades back, and then see how I'm getting my force from the ground here, my feet? I'm trying to figure out where I can get enough power. So you push with your feet to then use that movement to give that power. And then on the way back down, you squeeze your shoulder blades together. It's nearly like you're doing a back movement on the way down. It's like a row on the way down and a press on the way up. Same thing with something like a dumbbell press. You squeeze your shoulder blades back and your chest is up and you're pressing. Don't let your shoulders roll forward because then you will do a shoulder injury, or even worse, you could dislocate your shoulder if you've already got issues on it. Now with the row, this is a pull pattern, but see how the bar's going to my belly button and my elbows are behind my back. So the opposite of a push, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back, but I'm also driving with my chest. So I'm pushing my chest through as I pull that movement up. And it's the same with a pull-up. So this is a pull pattern too. So I'm pulling my chest forward. See how my chest drives the movement here? And then I don't roll my shoulders forward and I'm squeezing my back, keeping that nice angle throughout the whole time. So I'm not allowing my shoulders to roll forward, because if I do, then my back's not going to be doing all the work. My shoulders will. And we don't want that. Then we have the carry pattern. Now this pattern is not really done by many people and they neglect it. But this doesn't only help your aerobic capacity, it also helps grip strength, posture, and core strength. So make sure you don't neglect this. I'll touch more on this in the future. So just to recap, our foundational movement patterns are our squat, hip hinge, lunge, push, pull, and carry. Don't get carried away with doing all fancy type of bullshit. You want to know which body parts that you're working when you're working it. Yeah, so if you're doing a movement and you don't actually know what you're targeting, then how are you actually going to grow that muscle and how are you going to get them appropriate adaptations? You need to familiarize yourself with these patterns, really practice them, get them down pat. Even if you have to practice it in the mirror, do whatever you have to do, because once you get these movements down pat, then once you go to the gym, you're going to be so much more confident and have the ability to be able to pull these off and get that growth and that strength that you need. Anyway, I hope this helps, guys. I'll chat to you soon.